Okay, so I wanted to talk about the Deviant Moon Tarot Deck, and this book about the Deviant Moon Tarot Deck. And the reason that I'm so impressed with this book is that it really emphasizes the shadow in Jungian sense. And if you're having trouble individuating, you might want to pick up this book and the tarot deck and understand a little bit about the tarot. And I've now educated everyone on the tarot, so you can find that on our tarot playlist. But this particular book is about the shadow side of the psyche, and so it's showing each individual image in this book really is showing you something pretty shadowy. And where's my cheat sheet? So anyway, in order to try the deck out, I decided that I would take the book, and instead of doing it with the cards, I would simply open it to a page every day. And so I've done that for 5 days. And so I'm reading for a specific individual. I won't mention that individual, and you can take this reading for whatever individual you choose. And I'm going to read both the positive and the negative, so my reading didn't come up as reverse per se or positive. It just came up with that image. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the images that came up and then read you both the positive and the negative side and what the artist was saying about the image that he created. And so the first one, I need my cheat sheet because it has the page numbers. So the first day I was doing this, which was the 25th of January, I opened the book to page 173. And by the way, this is an awesome book, and it's won prizes in the New Age category. So the first page I turned to was the Knight of Wands. And this is the Knight of Wands in this deck. And you can see it's quite dramatic. The knight is actually not riding a horse, he's riding a flea. So you can see that it's quite shadowy as compared to the Rider-Waite Deck, where the Knight of Wands is this gallant fellow on a horse with a wand. Okay, so the Knight of Wands. The daring Knight of Wands scurries across a grassy field fused to the back of a colossal flea. The flea serves as a workhorse, while the knight is the mastermind. Together they venture out into the unknown as a combined force, ready to confront life's challenges. The full moon rising in the background is symbolic of the satisfaction they will achieve by aggressively chasing a dream and fighting for its realization. The knight uses the flea as a means to leap quickly over vast distances while keeping his own delicate wings in pristine condition. This shows that he leverages his relationships and conserves his talents for what matters most. Although the knight is in command of the flea, its behavior can be erratic. The flea sometimes jumps too far and carries the knight way beyond his intended destination. They often miss their mark because they never stop bouncing long enough to evaluate their position or formulate a strategy of attack. The knight clutches his thorny wand and prepares for combat. He wears the green exoskeleton of a mantis as armor. which not only protects him, but also serves to intimidate his opponents. The only visible hint of his humanity is the lower portion of his face. His open mouth yells out a battle call, warning the world to stand aside or deal with his fury. Like a mantis, the knight is a formidable hunter who usually gets whatever he goes after. He is fearless in his pursuits and outwardly displays his passion, yet the flea on which he rides is unthinking and void of emotion. This repulsive creature is a carrier of death, and its skull pertains the devastation it brings to its enemies. The mere sight of the flea stirs primordial terror in the hearts of the bravest warriors. Each time it infests a new area, its tongue slithers out of its mouth to sample the atmosphere, hoping to detect potential prey. The knight is swift to adapt to changing circumstances. When the flea no longer suits his needs, he will coldly detach himself from it to join with some other entity. Upright meanings. The Knight of Wands represents someone who enthusiastically takes the initiative. This action-oriented person is quick to pounce on new and exciting opportunities. This is the fellow in the Rider-Waite Deck. And often makes spontaneous decisions. Like him, you must saddle up and get moving on your creative ideas. Let nothing prevent you from seizing your destiny. The knight's greatest shortcoming is that he sometimes does not think before leaping into action. Although he has a strong desire to succeed, he may fail in what he sets out to achieve due to his impulsivity and lack of foresight. He will become an unstoppable powerhouse once he discovers how to match his bold ambition with sound planning and patience. The knight exudes raging sexual energy. Unfortunately, the inability to contain his lustful desires may lead to his downfall. His appearance in a reading might signify someone who uses another person for a quick sexual encounter, recklessly hopping from one partner to another. The Knight of Wands may also signify military personnel or someone seeking adventure in a foreign land. Reverse meanings. When reversed, the Knight of Wands could indicate that you have lost your sense of direction in life. This is because you are squandering your time and energy on activities that lead you away from your higher purpose. Although you may be off course, remember that you are ultimately in control and have the power to turn yourself around whenever you want. In this position, the card might warn of delayed or disrupted plans. Expect to feel frustration and anger as unfortunate circumstances derail your momentum. Do not let your ill-tempered emotions keep you from reaching your goal. Despite any setback, you must compose yourself and get back on track straight away. And so here were the preliminary sketches for the Knight of Wands from this author. The author is Patrick Valenza, and the book is available on Amazon, as is the deck. Okay, is this too much, John, or shall I go ahead and read the other four? Okay. How about you? You okay? All right. January 26th, I drew the sun. Oh my God, the sun. Wait until you see this. Okay, so here is the sun in this deck. As I said, this is a shadow deck. Okay. Pardon?
Good artist.
He's an amazing artist. And as I said, this particular tarot deck is a way to make contact with your shadow side, because it's giving you shadow images and shadow readings. Okay, so the sun. The omniscient sun rises in the morning sky, bringing with it the miracle of a new day. Its brilliant light dissolves the darkness of the night and awakens sleepy minds from bad dreams. As the clouds of confusion melt away, the rain that once drenched the land in sorrow change into blazing drops of vibrant energy. The sun shines over the city and bestows joyful blessings on a pair of youthful lads. The boys have come together in separate physical forms, yet their spiritual consciousness unites them. Meeting here for the first time, they find themselves instantly attracted to each other through their similarities. Shared traits lead to a strong rapport, which will soon develop into a lasting, harmonious relationship. Undivided by walls, the twins stand arm in arm, creating a bridge of friendship. With souls joined and bodies invigorated by the sun's rays, they embark on the day's journey together. So just a reminder, this is the sun in this Deviant Moon tarot deck. Okay, so upright meanings. Glorious days are ahead. When the sun comes up in a reading, it proclaims an end to dark times and the beginning of a new era of fulfillment. This life-giving entity will usher in a golden season of intense happiness and pure joy. A revitalized enthusiasm for the life will come over you, which will immeasurably enhance every aspect of your existence. Allow this vibrant passion to emanate from your personality and influence everyone you meet. Know that you can achieve greatness through the cooperation of like-minded people who share your ascending aspirations. It is time to ignite your genius and reveal your mental brilliance. An enlightened state of consciousness is ready to dawn upon you. New ideas will burst forth from your energized mind, breaking through the haze of ignorance and self-doubt. By thinking clearly, you will light your world with shining success. Along with the renewal of your mental energy, the sun represents robust vitality, rejuvenation, and physical well-being. By nurturing and strengthening your body, you will experience glowing good health. Healing will take its natural course and save you from illness. Your stamina will dramatically increase, giving you the power to turn your nightmare dreams into the reality of your day. Reverse meanings. When in reverse, the sun appears to be setting on your ambitions. Thoughts are clouded, energy is low, and confidence is sinking. Happiness seems elusive. You may feel unfulfilled regardless of the blessings that shine upon you. This inability to see the bright side of unpleasant situations blocks your potential for greatness. Realize that the enlightenment you seek is near, but you must concentrate your efforts to find it. As the sun goes down, friendships may be strained or ended. There will be difficulty cooperating with others as negative personalities come out to play. Know that you must first examine yourself to find a solution to your unstable relationships. Okay, so the third day I opened the book and I came to the VII of Swords. And this is the image for the VII of Swords. A masked Harlequin attempts to swallow his swords in a dramatic display of skill. He contorts his long body into a precarious position, balancing a heavy sword across his feet, while another sword dangles on a rope above his wide-open mouth. More concerned with his flashy appearance, the Harlequin rushes to perform before he is competent in his art. He has one foot twisted backwards, while the other is bare, suggesting that he is not quite prepared to execute such a daring act. Regardless, the impulsive Harlequin continues his risky performance, even though his plans are seriously flawed. The frayed rope which binds the two blades above him will soon break, leaving him in a tragic predicament. 3 swords stand stabbed into the ground, representing past failures. Although the Harlequin has tried this stunt before, he has not learned from his mistakes. He continues to do things the way he always has, and wonders why he always gets the same miserable results. At his side lie 2 swords that he hopes to use successfully in the future. They will be failures as well if the foolish Harlequin does not modify his technique. With fingers crossed, he relies on luck more than a sound strategy. Let me just share with you. This is the sun in the Rider-Waite deck, and then here is the VII of Swords in the Rider-Waite deck, which has traditionally meant somebody trying to steal away with your opportunity. Anyway, upright meanings. Don't make a fool of yourself. An ill-conceived plan is always about to lead you directly down a path of failure. Like the reckless Harlequin, you may be putting yourself at risk due to a lack of foresight. Know that your hasty actions will only bring ruin to all that you've strived for. Furthermore, you must not become overconfident. You may be overlooking vital details and ignoring dangers in your hurry to achieve a spectacular outcome. It is unwise to presume that all will work out by chance alone. Take the time needed to review your ideas and be flexible enough to make crucial adjustments. Reverse meanings. Don't be deterred by setbacks. You will need to make many attempts before you attain the positive result you desire. Although your undertakings may have failed before, there is a way to succeed, provided you are willing to try something radically new. Be persistent and keep your goal foremost in your mind. Through trial and error, you will eventually realize your ambition in a unique and astonishing way. And in the story about this tarot deck, the artist described how he developed his painting style over many years by filling up many, many sketchbooks over time. And here are a couple of examples of preliminary sketches for this card. And he said, many of the characters found in the Deviant Moon deck developed from inconsequential scribbles made over the years. When I began to design the Seven of Swords, I immediately thought of an old crayon sketch I had made more than 2 decades earlier. The drawing portrayed a little acrobat performing a balancing act with balls, strings, and sticks. Like many other neglected and forgotten characters, this one demanded a role in the Deviant Moon tarot This one demanded a role in the Deviant Moon Tarot as well, although he needed to undergo a few changes first. As the final variation of the card progressed, the acrobat eventually evolved into a sword-swallowing Harlequin. However, he never lost his playful essence or his twisted foot in the transformation. Okay. And so just a quick reminder, this is what the Seven of Swords looks like. Okay, January 28th, the Ten of Wands. Okay, oh yes, this guy. Okay, so this is yesterday, the Ten of Wands, and here he is. Isn't he pleasant? Take a look at his feet and his cloven hoofs and the beak, and he's burdened down by the wands. And in the Rider-Waite deck, the Ten of Wands looks like this. Okay, so the Ten of Wands, an overburdened woodsman, slowly makes his way home after a long day's labor. He plods along a weary path, barely clinging to 10 wands gathered from the forest. The crushing weight of the bundle in his tired arms almost brings the woodsman to his knees. Although he struggles, his abilities are sufficient to manage this heavy load. One can look at this card and interpret the woodsman's plight as being either positive or negative. In the positive version, the woodsman harvests his success day by day and slowly accumulates greatness. He is willing to exert tremendous effort now because he knows that he will reap finer rewards in the future. Each load he carries brings him closer to achieving his vision for a better life. In the distance, the full moon shines brightly in the warm autumn sky. It reminds the woodsman to think of the satisfaction he will attain once his labor is complete. The negative connotation implies that the woodsman is a slave to the grind. He toils to fulfill the desires and aspirations of others, but derives little reward from his efforts. The dry wands he carries are dead and bear no leaves. This could mean that he feels no passion for his work or considers it unimaginative. The woodsman is resentful of the workload but does little to alter his course. The daily pressure he endures has hardened him to the point of being unrecognizable to his loved ones. Life seems like a burden to him, and he is on the verge of losing his grip. In either case, the woodsman's bundle is essential to his survival. However, his method of transport is not efficient. He would do well to work smarter instead of harder, and use his brain as well as his brawn. He cannot go with this backbreaking routine without putting himself in an early grave. He needs to rest for a moment and figure out a better way to do his job. For example, he could use some of the wood to build a small wagon and easily double the load he carries now. If he traded those extra loads for a horse and carriage, he could multiply his results tenfold. Let me highlight the woodsman's axe in this image. So the artist says, the woodsman purposely left his prized axe behind in the forest. He knew that if he took the axe with him, the extra weight would have made his cumbersome load impossible to carry. The lesson here is that sometimes it is necessary to sacrifice something valuable in order to facilitate a heavy dream. In order to facilitate a hefty dream. Upright meanings. In the tarot, the number 10 indicates that a phase in your life has ended. With this in mind, the Ten of Wands may be a sign that your hard work is about to pay off and will soon no longer be necessary. Get set to enjoy the fruits of your labor. Retirement may be just around the bend. Perhaps you are struggling with a difficult project. Know that this exhausting task can be finished through long hours of intense labor. Discipline yourself to do what is uncomfortable. Do not expect success without struggle. The Ten of Wands could also mean that you have taken on too much and have reached your personal limit. Overwhelming responsibility weighs heavy on your shoulders, while your stress, worry, and fear burden your mind. Always remember that you possess the strength to handle whatever life brings. Additionally, the card might represent a workaholic or an overworked person. Maybe you are toiling under oppressive working conditions with little or no relief in sight. Realize that this is taking its toll on your physical and mental well-being. Reverse meanings. In the reverse, the Ten of Wands suggests that you eliminate inessential tasks and responsibilities from your daily life. Stop trying to hold on to more than you can control. Let go of low-value activities and concentrate on your most important priorities. Leave your pride behind and ask someone for help. Know that you will accomplish more in less time if you delegate some of your duties. Take a break from your drudgery and start planning a long overdue vacation. In this position, the card might also indicate that you feel unfulfilled by your current occupation. The hard work you are doing seems meaningless and barely worth the effort. Rid yourself of this lifeless job and redirect your energy toward work that moves you closer to your goals. Okay. So the artist says, I wanted to give the woodsman a cantankerous look to show how his strenuous life had affected him. After doing a few sketches, I chose to portray him as a burly avian creature instead of a normal-looking citizen. Inspiration for this Birdman came from a drawing I made in my early teens. The drawing depicts 4 sailors resembling pelicans working hard to unload coffins from a cargo ship. I can imagine these creatures cursing and grumbling with each black box they carried ashore. Interestingly enough, one of the sailors accidentally drops his mysterious shipment and spills the dead body of a woman onto the dock. And so here are the preliminary sketches. There's the image of the woman being dropped onto the dock, but you can see other preliminary sketches. And you can see why this artist's book has won prizes. Okay, so you ready for the pièce de résistance, which is today's card. Okay, this is unbelievable. Okay, so today's card is the Devil, and here is the Devil in the Deviant Moon Tarot deck. Quite something. The Devil on a volcanic globe covered in sulfur, and meanwhile here's the Devil in the Rider-Waite deck. On a volcanic globe covered in sulfur and ash, the Devil dances in wicked delight, amused by the anarchy he has brought to the city. Once a glorious angel, he is now only a sad vision of beauty's decay. His useless wings have withered long ago, and his rotten skin barely covers the bones of his soulless body. A coward by nature, the devil works his trickery from afar, manipulating minds in a sinister trance. Many have succumbed to his deceptive charm, believing his hollow promise of earthly gain. His negative influence ruins all inspiration and corrupts worthy thoughts with evil fantasies, while the devil wages a never-ending campaign to bind and oppress the souls of the people. He cannot enslave what is not given to him freely. All have the power within to resist, for his bindings are merely an illusion and are easily broken by choice. Although shunned by the universe and condemned to eternal exile, the devil will always find a home in any heart offering refuge. Upright meanings. Destructive thinking patterns aspire to manipulate every aspect of your life. Unfortunately, you often blame your dismal situation on unseen forces that seem beyond your control. Understand that the devil personifies your own diabolical ego, which seeks to restrict your mind through false limitations. Empowering thoughts and ideas find themselves bound to the psychological prison you have created within yourself. Know that you alone possess the power to break free of the mental chains that detain your spirit. Under the hypnotic spell of the devil, detrimental behaviors somehow seem alluring. Obsessive desires seek to dictate your actions, and you might find it difficult to resist physical temptation. Greed will try to rule your heart and force you to spend your days in an unwavering pursuit of material gain. Harmful addictions may consume you. The joy of life could be lost to the oppressive demands of your self-absorbed mindset. Reversed meanings. New ways of thinking will set your spirit free. The devil in reverse suggests that the self-defeating thoughts that once limited your potential no longer have any power over your mind. Empowering solutions to your problems will reveal themselves as you come to realize that you alone control your destiny. Negativity will give way to a new and promising vision of what is possible in your life. These were the preparatory drawings for the devil, and the artist has this to say: uncanny inspiration. The devil card in the Deviant Moon Tarot has no fancy props. It is entirely character-driven. This illustration was influenced by one of my earliest memories. When I was about 3 years old, I got a tiny rubber devil out of a gumball machine. He was in the old-fashioned style: long body, horns, pointy tail, and a little pitchfork. It was quite an intriguing little character. I remember studying its features and wondering about the mischievous grin. I used to sleep with the rubber devil under my pillow until one night it simply vanished. Although I never found it, the style of that small toy found its way into many of my first drawings. My earliest surviving drawings are from a book I made just after discovering the tarot in 1975. The story is about a little girl who is afraid of the witch that lives in her wall. One night, the witch comes out and steals the little girl, taking her down to the fires of hell to be the slave of the devil. In the end, she becomes an angel and winds up meeting God, who accidentally swallows her. I made many storybooks like this when I was 8 years old. Most are long lost. Inspired by the imagery of the tarot, I created one story after the other and my artistic ability grew tremendously in a very short time. The more books I made for myself, the better I became at drawing. This result was never my intention. To me, expressing my imagination so others could see it was always my main goal. Art was an unexpected yet welcomed afterthought. So here's the preliminary drawings, including God about to swallow the girl and the witch coming out of the wall.
I couldn't say the right thing.
And so you see that the Deviant Moon Tarot deck and the Deviant Moon Tarot book could open up your shadow for you.